What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family without further ado. Let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
A unique place in Jamaica. A survival of an experiment that came out of a period of great change. When Jamaica became a free country in the 1830s, the people who ran things felt threatened by the large mass of freed people, the majority, who were now able to decide what they wanted to do and what they wished to become. Many were determined to break away from the old ways, and it wasn't clear if they were going to be hostile or not. Hoping to create a defense against possible hostility, the legislature decided to bring in migrants, fresh people who had not shared in the trauma of the country's past and who might be expected to be supportive and cooperative. It was hoped that these migrants would live in the interior of the island, establish new towns and work as laborers on mountain estates. A number of Scots and Irish were brought in, but the first significant group were Germans, who embarked from Bremen and arrived late in 1834. They went to Portland, St. Ann, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Elizabeth. But the group that had the most lasting effect were among 532 Germans who arrived in December 1835 on the Ulbers, with sail from Bremen. 249 of them were taken to Seaford in Westmoreland to establish a town. The site is about 25 miles from Montego Bay and was built on 500 acres of Montpelier Mountain Estate, owned by Lord Seaford. The new arrivals had a hard time. Only a few of the houses, which should have been ready for them, had been completed. So the majority was sent into the bush to build their own houses. But they did get provisions and a small weekly allowance until they could find their feet. They planted yams, coffee, plantains, cocoa, ginger, sugarcane, and arrowroot, and did pretty well. But by September 1838, the population had dwindled from 249 to 156. Some left Seaford to settle in coastal towns and other parts of Jamaica, but many migrated to the United States. Those who remained have come to occupy a unique position in the Jamaican landscape.
Yeah, so they wasn't feeling it. They said it's a little difficult out here. We can't find our feet. Gotta move around. Yeah. I mean, they was able to plant, you know what I'm saying, which is gardening is always a beautiful thing to do. You can definitely benefit from that. But the timing of that, you know what I'm saying, and the low allowance it was receiving as well.
Yeah, you got to think about that. The early 1800s is a tropical climate. They're coming from Germany.
Yeah.
It's different. Let's see how they make it out.
Over the years, many have visited Seaford to come to grips with the remains of this tiny German settlement of the past. The Hill and Gully team also went to try to see what had survived.
When you reach far down now, one more right and then you come to Seaford soon.
Alright.
Yeah, far down the next right now.
My area lost miles.
Down, how far down? About 12 down there.
About 12 miles?
Seaford not far from here, just down the bottom. You travel straight and you get to this square you turn.
About a mile down?
More than a mile.
More than a mile? About 3 miles down. Okay, is that where you're coming from, too?
Yeah, Seaford me coming from now.
How far are you going down here?
I want to go to the church, the Roman Catholic.
The Roman Catholic. Well, you go straight down, and after you go down, you see a branch where the butcher stall is, and you just turn up.
Okay. Are you from Seaford Town?
Yeah.
What's your name, huh?
Hacker, either Hacker.
Hacker.
Yeah.
All right, now. So I can't lose my way.
No, you're on the right track.
All right.
Yeah.
Here is Seaford Town. This is Seaford Town. Oh. I just passed a lady a while ago named Mrs. Hacker, you know her? Mrs. Hacker, you know her? What is your name?
Albert.
Albert what?
Brown.
Brown? So, where's the Roman Catholic Church? How far is it?
Down here.
Just down the road there.
She's down here.
Where you could eat you the apple from?
Yes, teeth.
Your teeth it?
Not it takes two.
$3 a pound.
Look like
Carrots.
carrots.
It look like it. I don't know if that's what it is.
Look like carrots.
You're born around here, sir? What you do? Farming or
Yes, farming.
what you do? So how come you buying carrots if you don't farm?
You have to buy some of the time. You can't farm everything.
That's true. What you grow though?
Yeah.
So you're gonna buy carrots too?
What?
You're gonna buy carrots too?
Yeah.
What are the chief places in Seaford town that I should look for, apart from the church? What else
At the
is there?
training center and the clinic.
Have a clinic up there too?
Yeah.
Why you don't think you can tell me something about the place?
No, I can't tell you. I am very young.
You were born in Seaford town?
Yes.
You went to school here too?
Yes.
So where you headed for now?
I'm gonna get some beef inside here.
Oh, you do farming too?
No, not really. I do furniture.
Oh, what you make? Beds and chairs?
Yeah.
Out of what kind of wood?
Just about any native lumber. Cedar, maho, teak, mahogany.
So how did you learn furniture making?
Well, my father used to do it. My father was a carpenter. He used to build some furniture. But I went to the training center here. I did that Europe. It's for the technologists.
Not local. Kind of doing a little story in Seaford town.
Okay, why don't we go back up to the house? And
Oh, you wouldn't mind?
yeah, fine.
Okay, we go back.
Getting invited to the house, okay. It's the 90s.
Girl. Gotta
I
be.
think he said the 90s earlier. The car looked like the 90s.
The car look like it, for real.
Most of the flowers here I planted myself, they've all grown in the last 5 years. The ones you see right around here.
You get a lot of rainfall, or is it just...
Right now, this is as dry as it's been, the driest I've seen it. Maybe you'd like to meet
Yes, I would.
Rita Breeden, huh?
Yes.
This Rita is from Montego Bay, and she comes up here 2 or 3 times a week, looking after a school feeding program that we have,
Yes.
and also for the building program that we have at the training school.
Is it Wiederhof?
Wiedenhout.
Wiedenhof. What made you become interested in...
Well, I used to come to Jamaica in the 70s on holidays. And I did two work experience periods with Father Friesen when he was still the parish priest.
Yes.
And then I relocated. I moved to Jamaica in 1985. And I've been here ever since,
But,
attached to this
yes.
place in particular.
Yes.
I've never been to another island.
Is that
Who's
so?
the people?
Relocated.
No, go back
I
a little
moved
bit.
to Jamaica in 1985. And periods with Father Friesen when he was still the parish priest.
Yes.
And then I relocated. I moved to Jamaica in 1985. And I've been here ever since,
But,
attached to this
yes.
place in particular.
Yes.
I've never been to another island.
Is that so? What part of Germany were you originally from?
Originally from the southwest part, which is the Black Forest.
Black-
I'm attached through the Diocese of Montego Bay
Yes.
to this parish and to Father Victor, and I'm the coordinator and administrator for a Dutch-sponsored school feeding program. All age and basic schools, 11 altogether. And I'm doing some accounting work for the construction phase of the vocational school, which you will see after.
Yes. How many children are we talking about here?
You mean in the feeding program?
Yes.
Around about 1,700 children. It is hoped that because of that, attendance will improve and their learning capacities at the same time.
And this is a midday meal?
Yes.
And
Schools cook. They are responsible for purchasing because they are supposed to use the local produce to use in the school. So it's the principal's responsibility. What we do from our end is we finance it and we try to give them some nutrition information.
Miss Vera here works at the mission. She's been here much longer than I have been.
Yes.
She's been
Okay,
working
here we
here
go.
for 10 years. She worked with Father Friesen for 5, and she's been here with me for 5. Her name is Miss Vera Burley.
now how did you get to Seaford? I mean, what brought you here?
The principal
All
from
right, so far, being that they work inside the schools, feeding that amount of children, being that active, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the children, they all look like they look energized. They look really happy. You know what I'm saying? They're like they doing great, obviously. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's some good stuff.
Yeah, it is. When we're looking at these videos, I gotta remind myself it's been some time.
Yeah.
So maybe things it's different and have improved beyond the early stages.
Yeah, I would believe
like
so.
what they're saying now. So.
The school came to my house send my son to call me, but I said I'm not coming for maybe he's rude why the teacher calling me. But anyway, I said to him, Brenty, if you know that he's rude and Miss Gardner called me, don't let me go. Well, when I go, I was successful. Yes. She said father wasn't well taken care of. So she said I must get to work. So I tell her I would not work that day. I would come the next day. So from that I'm here.
How do you like Seaford?
Well, it's very nice. Well, you have to like where you live and where you work.
That's a good philosophy, isn't it? So who's the other lady, Father?
This is Miss Graham. Yes. And she lives up the hill here. And she's worked in the training school and just recently retired. She's a great singer at church,
I just
too.
came from up there.
So you're part of the church choir?
Yes, and Father Francis was here. They did have a get-together up at the training center, and a singer-song. And from that, Father put me in the choir.
You liked your voice?
Yes, sir.
The flat land across the valley here is called Old Town. And Father Friesen, who was a historian, used to think that it got the name because the first barracks after the arrival of the first immigrants were erected in that area, temporary housing. And the people still call it Old Town, even though nothing is left.
About 2/3 of the original Germans at Seaford were Catholics. So the Catholic Church came to play a central part in the development and survival of the township. The Sacred Heart Church is a focal point.
The original church was built in 1885, and it was blown down by a hurricane around 1910 or 1920? 1910? The hurricane, and rebuilt in 1912 on the same foundation. So it's pretty much the style of the church originally, except for the front part. That was added on 25 years ago.
Where did the bell come from?
I have no idea, but they say the original story is that in that hurricane of around 1912, that it blew the bell 50 feet through the air, which is kind of a big tale, I think, but sounds good, huh? That sounds like a big storm.
On the hill is the St. Boniface Vocational Training School. The first phase was built about 10 years ago. Funding was granted by Myrie, a German organization, and it trains young school leavers in the basic trades, masonry, carpentry, sewing for girls, catering, all these basic needs, to make them basically self-sufficient, that when they leave they can find employment or start their own little business. About a year ago, phase 2 started, a year and a half ago, phase 2 started with a further grant from Germany for an extension of the existing facilities. That was about 1 million DM, which is now put into use by extending the school buildings, and also not only buildings, but the period of learning will be 2 years instead of 1 year from now on. Germany supplied the buildings. The church, the Diocese of Montego Bay, supplied the land, and it is a cooperation between Germany and Jamaica in the sense that Jamaica provides training, teachers and maintenance, and Germany provides the building and the machinery and tools.
How many students have you got at the vocational training center?
140.
140. All boys?
No, it's a co-ed. We have about 60 girls.
When the students graduate, do you have any problems placing them at all? How do you go about helping them to find?
Well, most of them find employment in the Montego Bay and Sublamar areas. It's dependent on the skill. In the tourism areas and in garment making, we don't seem to have a problem right now.
You seem to have a problem?
We don't.
What about masons and carpenters and things like that?
Masons, little difficulty because the construction industry in Western Jamaica is not too buoyant right now.
So the skills that are in most demand in this area
is in tourism.
So like selling.
garment making.
Garments, okay.
It must be quite difficult for those of your students who have to walk all the way sometimes from Montego Bay. How do they manage?
Well, we have those from Montego Bay actually come by bus, but there are others that come from areas such as Pisgah and Springfield that has to walk.
Now, these children we're seeing here now, are they all age school children?
Yes.
Okay, so I can only imagine the people who may not have wanted to go to the tourism areas.
Right.
You know, I would love to learn stories of people. It doesn't have to be from this school, but of people who have built up their own communities outside of those areas. Because now we know Montego Bay isn't the only place to go for a trip, you know?
Right. And it's just take me back to the beginning of this video about how they even got there and all they had to do. And now you got to think about the hurricane and how they knocked everything down and how they still built up, and they're teaching the children the same tools, skill sets, if I could say. Yeah, they're teaching them that as well. So, but yeah, this is an interesting storyline.
It is. I'm just, I don't know. It made me think of, okay, I understand that the Germans were sent there and other groups were sent there.
For a reason, though.
To have a new group of people to come in who don't have that, you know, tension.
The idea.
Yeah, the tension about slavery.
But then left them there like...
there to, because now this is the 90s.
Right.
I don't know. Like, I would love to know the stories about how the Germans integrated with the Jamaicans.
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah.
I don't know, because how we get to them making a school and Germany having a relationship with Jamaica to bring the school. I don't know.
That part. Maybe that had to have something to do with them even coming here in the first place.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm saying here, but you know,
was that
in
the
that
reason?
conversation could have been also those type of relationships and deals made. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to take care of y'all people, so this is what we're gonna do for y'all, and this, that, and the third, and y'all do this back. So we get y'all taking the land in Jamaica, but y'all funding the buildings in Jamaica.
Right.
That way we can have y'all people here in that.
And that's a win-win, you know, education. But
100%.
Okay.
And we just trying to follow along.
Yeah.
Correctly. I mean, this is some time ago.
Yeah, how we got straight to a church.
These are all from the Seaford Town All-Age School. The All-Age School also serves as a community center for lack of another building when they have functions or dances, fundraising, Christmas party. This is where the community meets to celebrate.
And another thing, like, was this the only location that they was getting funded to do these buildings? Because I remember them saying they had like over 500 acres. No, that wasn't it. 500 people?
Yeah, they sent them in the middle of the island, and then some of them moved to the outskirts of the island.
Yeah, okay. It's one of them.
It's open.
Pat Mulcahy is my name, but people call me Dr. Pat because they have trouble with my surname.
Yes. How long have you been in Seaford?
I started in July 1990 and I replaced an Irish doctor who'd been here for 2 years prior to that. Dr. Doyle was her name, a lady doctor. The clinic has been here for 6 years and it's been staffed by 5 different doctors up to this time. And we're trying to, when I leave in 2 years' time, we'll be trying to get somebody to replace me.
It's a rather rapid turnover, isn't it?
It's fairly rapid, but we're having trouble staffing the clinic with Jamaican doctors. Basically, I think because it's a rural area and there are not a lot of opportunities for education and things like that. So it's very hard to get Jamaican doctors here. Obviously, the ideal would be to have a Jamaican doctor working here.
Right. And I'm glad he said that because oftentimes you would want the school to produce those type of students, doctors, lawyer, whatever it is at the time. But for them, it's doctors. They would need more doctors in the area, so they have to keep pulling from all these other locations.
Yeah,
you know?
It sounds like they're coming in from other countries.
And they keep just swapping out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to date, we haven't got any volunteers. His father has advertised it many, many times, and he's got no replies at all from any Jamaican doctors. So then he has to go look overseas. Well, initially, I was wishing to do some voluntary work in a developing country, and I applied to a central agency in Ireland and in England. And the Columban Fathers, of who the priest here belongs to, his organisation were looking for a doctor for here. So I applied to an agency in Ireland, and they asked the agency if they knew of anybody who was interested in working in a developing country, and they contacted us and we interviewed. And the clinic serves an area of probably about a radius of 10 miles, which it extends as far as Springfield and Cambridge and over to Betheltown.
What do you find you have to deal with mostly?
Well, in the chronic illnesses, it's mostly high blood pressure, arthritis, sexually transmitted disease, which is potentially a huge problem in Jamaica because of AIDS. And then acute things, people get a lot of just aches and pains, runny bellies with kids, the usual sort of things that most GPs would see. One of the things that I notice that's different to practice in my country is that there's a very high incidence of diabetes and a very high incidence of high blood pressure, but this is a well-known fact in Caribbean communities in general anyway.
Has it got to do with the diet at all, perhaps?
Well, certainly they eat plenty of sugar. And starchy food is, people have a misconception that if you're a diabetic that you shouldn't eat starchy foods. The recent evidence is that you should eat starchy foods. It's the simple sugars, like just sugar or sweet things like box drinks and bottled drinks and things like that are bad for diabetes. But yams and potatoes and all that are actually good for diabetics, and we recommend that to diabetics in Western countries now, to be eating potatoes and rice and things like that. The problem with this area is that the public transportation is very poor and the roads are very poor. So the van is to try and assist people in getting to the clinic. A lot of these people would never be able to get to the clinic, and a lot of them die at home because they can't get here. Transportation, if they have to hire transportation, they're looking at $200 to $300 Jamaican dollars to hire a car, and a lot of these people just don't have that sort of money. So there's a nominal fee of $10 charged for the van if people can afford it, and if they can't afford it, they get brought in for nothing, and the same exists for the clinic. Well, I'm here with my wife, who's a physiotherapist, and she works in the clinic also, and we have each other for company, but the people are very friendly, and the climate, of course, is very nice. I come from Ireland, and it's much colder, and it rains much more in Ireland, and we've had the opportunity to see a lot of this island as well, and it's a beautiful island, and I haven't seen it all. So we've been enjoying our stay very much.
There's a group called Private Volunteer Organisation who normally would service handicapped children in the area, and so I've been working with them in order to carry out some of the programs that they were doing with the children, so that they can actually have specific treatment rather than have the mother do it all. The rest of the physiotherapy that's available would be just people with sore backs, anyone who had a machete injury to hands, that type of thing. So there's lots of work to be done. It's unusual for them to have a physiotherapist working in a rural community, so it's nice to be able to offer them some service, even if it's only for a short period.
Nah, 100%. I love the work they're doing. You gotta have a heart for people for stuff like this, man. They're traveling. First of all, obviously they knew what they wanted to do with their lives, right? And then when they got the phone call, yes, 100%, they're on board, and they have a heart for people. And the people in Jamaica is showing them the utmost love, you know what I'm saying, as usual, because the positivity they offer. You guys are awesome. But as well as everybody else that have been contributing to this in this time period. That's beautiful, too.
Yeah, y'all know I'm a solution-based person, and I'm just thinking, but y'all could have did this, but y'all could have did this.
Yeah, I was thinking that, too.
Yeah, when he started saying that they would love to fill the vacancy with Jamaican doctors, but they're in a rural area, they could have brought in, like, a school or have them go train abroad or wherever. You know, in order to get that in, and instead of having to pull people from other countries to fill in those vacancies.
Probably wasn't on, I think they call him father. Probably wasn't on his mind.
British, they were under the British, I believe, at that time.
Yeah, so that's, I guess what, you would have to go to them to...
Honestly, I haven't looked into that. I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not knowledgeable in that area. I don't know.
That's okay.
I have no clue.
Mika.
The whole great-grandparents them, and one of my whole great-grandmothers, but I don't know the husband them. And my father now, he and my mother is from the whole German them. And,
go ahead, sir.
And I live here, my father and my mother dead. So I bought this place and come here and live here.
Yes.
And I have more brothers and sisters, some of them in Canada, some is here. And my uncles them, all the uncles them that are.
Yes.
And the aunties them, it's only the cousin them leave.
You never thought of going to Canada yourself?
No.
What do you do around here, sir?
Farming.
What do you do?
I work, raise cow, plant our cultivation, and we get the food. We don't sell the food, keep the food to eat. And sometimes someone come around, we give them a little food, help them out. But the disease now take the tobacco, and we spray them 3 times now, but it's still to destroy them. But up to now, we don't have any right plan to cut out of it yet. Until you plant tobacco here, tobacco is strong, just strong and proof from. Well, the coffee bag now, you take the coffee, you put it in the mill. This is the coffee mill, sir. Take the parched coffee, and we throw it in the mill like this. And after we throw it in there now, we start to grind it like this until the mill, the full mill of coffee is done. And when it's finished now, we take out this brown one, throw it in the bag, boil the water, throw it on it, and strain it out. And after you strain it out now, whether you use sugar, milk, and put salt in it and drink it.
You grow the coffee yourselves?
Sometimes I will grow the coffee, but no coffee won't grow around here because they have a thing they call black rotten, kill the coffee. Well, this is the coffee pot now. We make up the fire, and we put it on the fire, and we fill it with water. And when it starts to boil up, we throw it into the bag, grind the coffee and put it into the bag, and strain it through the bag, and go into the pan.
They got a setup.
When we have the coffee to pulp, you see that mat out there?
Yes.
The ripe berry, we pulp it in it, we put it in the sun, we dry it, we trash it, and after we trash it, fan it out. After we fan it out, we have the beer grains left, and we part it in a frying pan on the fire here. And when it comes to a color brown, we take it off. Then we say it prepare.
I'm so grateful for Caribbean.
These are tiny. Come on, man. We call them string peas.
Regular coffee pot.
We plant them, give them stick when they start to run, and we pick the young one them and cook them.
Tastes like what?
It tastes nice, sir.
Like gungu or?
Better than gungu. Tastes better than gungu.
You built this house yourself?
Yes, sir.
You built this one.
Without any help, or you got help?
Me help. My brother helped me and my uncle. I built it myself.
You're a carpenter?
This whole part here is I built this. But that part now is my brother and my uncle helped me on that side.
So you're a carpenter?
Yes, sir. I built plenty of houses. Down to my uncle's house down there, we built it. Lots of house we work on and build. Help my brother build for him. Help me other brother, one live at Rome, build for him. Charlie Montreal build a lot. Lamjiva, all for Marsran, we build a house up for Marsran.
Oh, yeah?
Full house, me and my brother.
Near to the Sacred Heart Church stands this small museum, like a shrine, preserving the memory of that tiny exodus from the port of Bremen in 1835.
The people from Germany who came to Seaford town were brought here as indentured laborers. They came in several small groups, and Up on top, you see recording of their name, family status, how many children came. The names changed over the years to suit the English pronunciation, but many of the original families still reside here with their anglicized names. Each immigrant was given 3 acres, even a baby. So if you had 5 members in your family, you had, after your indenture time was finished, you had 15 acres of land for which you had a title deed.
That tiny exodus.
So was that like the promise to them? If I'm hearing that correctly, you would come over after a certain amount of years, have your family, and then you would get the acres.
Mm-hmm. We have learned of similar things like this going on in certain parts of the world. But my thing is, what did the former enslaved people get? I don't know about Jamaica's history in that regard. Like,
that's a really good
question.
How
did they handle, the former enslaved people after? Like, what happened?
That goes back to your question. How did they intermingle when they first came over?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's a really good question, because I would like to know that answer.
Right,
for them to be promised land, but the people that was already there, like, what was happening to them?
The majority.
I mean? Right.
Right. As descendants learning about slavery, we may all think that everybody received the same treatment after. But to learn of indentured servants coming in and then being promised something, what about the other people?
Yeah, that's the question.
And we know that slavery ended in Jamaica before it ended here. So y'all gonna have to fill in the gap. So give us a video, because obviously we're gonna look it up after this video. But
that's how it be too, because we watch this, we listen real thoroughly, and we try to give as much of our thoughts to this as well. But half the times, if it's really new, or there's some loopholes that we can't just fill ourselves, we have to go back and do the research.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no
point. Give y'all time to send in the video.
In 1835, of men, women, and children, bound for Jamaica and a new life, not knowing where that adventure would take them, or what would be the fate of their descendants.
Okay, some intermarrying going on.
Well, we always work on the museum when the first priest was here. And work with the street.
What you did?
Well, me do the carpenter work on so.
These are the survivors of the Seaford town settlement, to which 249 Germans, eager to start a new life, came in 1835-1836. Many drifted away, many migrated to other lands. But the great-grandparents of these people remained for the most part, and their grandparents, and their parents. They came to terms with the land and the countryside, with the new crops, and the Jamaican society, with the accents of Jamaican speech. And they have added their quota to the Jamaican experience and to the complex Jamaican culture.
Hey, we're gonna stop right there, man. Again, really interesting. A lot of loops and all the holes we want to fill and try to get more understanding about it. For instance, you had some really great questions that that made me more concerned about it as well. So,
yeah. So, let us know how the German Jamaicans are doing today.
Big facts.
How are things? Let us know about that church and the hospital. All right, y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.